And officially, welcome. Welcome to the session. Welcome to this Friday afternoon practice that my aim is to have it available every single or every first Friday of every month and build a community of just people in their pajamas. I have pajama pants, just rolling around on the floor. I was thinking for this particular session to focus in what I'm focusing on in the month of April in general, but specifically in the currents within. What is it that it's underlying in our thinking, in our emotions, as a way to reflect at least a minimum throughout our practice? And I wrote a couple of things, and I'm just thinking in at the beginning, thinking in what is expansive and what is contracted energy for us in our bodies when we move, but also in our lives. What is it that after we're in it, in the experience, we feel ah, expansive? Or what is it that after doing the experience, we feel contracted? My intention is not to carry judgment into the things that I do, like watching a TV show a little bit late at night yesterday, which was a little bit contracted, but at least observing it and then choosing differently if I can. And mostly because I feel that when we're in moments of transformation, of shifting in season, of life, or in proper weather, it's important to just be aware. Or where can we find expansive moments? That's it. That's all for me. And let's just come to our mat. I'm gonna wiggle a little bit of my screen. And maybe you're lying down. Perhaps you are seated, and that's perfectly fine. I'm gonna take my notes with me. And then as you are, I am seated, but you could be lying down on the floor. I wanted to just make contact, bring your hand to your chest, and maybe you can close your eyes and just notice. Start to gently notice how is your heartbeat, how are you feeling? And whatever comes, let's just invite that second hand to the belly and just from the belly, deep breath in and deep breath out. Inviting a naturally sensation of expansion when we breathe in. Gentle release, gentle contraction when we breathe out. Another one just like that, just arriving in this moment, in this afternoon practice from home. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And then as you are, see if you can gently open your eyes, roll over on your mat if you're lying down. I just want us to move a little bit in a cat and cow. If you know me, you know that I really like to wiggle the spine before we lie down flat on the floor. I hope that this is accessible for your knees, that this is accessible for your hands, for your wrists, and just let the sitting bones and perhaps observe of your chest expanding, opening. And notice what's happening in the chest as you press hands and you curl in and the chin comes in. There's no better or worse space. There's just two opposites. We're just expanding when we're breathing in and opening. We're just going to do this 2 or 3 more times. Exhaling and closing in. And I don't know about you, but I do need a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of movement before I settle, because settling or trying to get the body to be in a particular place um, creates a little bit of friction sometimes for me. I do need a little bit of movement. That's it. Maybe it's my mind that needs a little bit of exercise before. That's it. Come back again through center and just wiggle a little bit the hip side to side. Maybe, if it's okay, do circles. Very natural way of moving. I'm feeling something in my wrist. So I'm doing some circles in the wrist as well. We all use our devices. We are all using our hands in a different way than our parents and our grandparents. That's it. And after that, we're gonna find a constructive rest pose. So if it's okay, we're just now rolling down to lie down on our back. So interesting that I have so much light. I want it to be a little bit dark. I'm gonna work on that next time. We're just lying that on our back. See if you can keep your knees bent, but then bring your knees to touch and just bring one hand to your belly. one hand to your heart. And as the minutes and the time that we're spending together starts to land, we start to land with each other, me with you here, and you from home where you are. Just noticing that the space of the practice, you here lying down, and again, your heart beats on one hand and your belly expanding on the other hand. And there is a natural wave. We were talking about waves last time of the breath. There's a natural current of like a tide of a wave lifting up when we breathe in, and a wave coming to shore when we breathe out. So perfect for this season, for this weather of humidity, of water around us. Just noticing that wave coming up when you breathe in, whenever it comes, and that wave that comes down whenever your breath comes out. Two more rounds of breath, letting yourself be lost for a little bit in the waters, in the oceans, in the currents, and then gently gathering yourself back, noticing where you are. And then, if it's okay, bring arms beside you. We will wiggle our legs a little bit side to side again. I really appreciate to find stillness and then a little bit of movement so that my mind can go to my legs and notice what's happening in the hips, what's happening in the lower back, so that the settling it's gradual, it's understanding. And then we're just rolling over. I'm rolling over to my right side because it's better for you to see me, but you just roll to one of your sides and make your way into a fetus position, maybe an arm resting under your cheek or your head. And I wonder if here on this side you can notice the touch of the air on your skin. How is the temperature where you are? If there's anything that you're carrying in your face that you can soften. And then lovingly, if it's okay, press one hand on the floor. We are transitioning to find a place where we will stay for a longer period of time. So we will just do like a supported, gentle twist. I am with my knees bent, and I'm just inviting that bolster. I didn't say it before, but maybe a couple of pillows towards you. And because a bolster sometimes for me is too low on the floor, I'm gonna add a block. Perhaps that's a book or even your hands under the bolster. I'm gonna show you where we're going, but because I know all of you, you already know this, I think. So your hip is close to the bolster, and then my top leg, I'm bringing it a little bit behind and letting the knee touch the floor. Maybe that feels good for your hip. I'm feeling like that today. Mostly, I usually have it on top, so it's less impacting the lower back. See how you go? And just bring each of your hands to each side of the bolster of the support. Wiggle a little bit through the belly, and then let the cheek rest on the bolster. If the head, if the neck doesn't like this too much, maybe you make a pillow, like double hands, and allow the forehead to rest. Perhaps that's better for the head. And take a couple of moments of wiggles to check what's best. And we will do stay here for a good period of time, a good period of 5 to 6 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. And the intent is to just settle the awareness, notice the breath coming in, notice the breath coming out. And as we invite ourselves into this practice that is becoming more and more restorative, more and more restful, we really, in the practice of restorative, it's the receiving the support of the props, of the floor, of the earth, rather than us doing anything to make the pose better. Just really resting in this understanding. If we can allow things to be as they are, just lean into them. Being aware that your breath is expanding your belly as you breathe in, and that your belly is softening as you breathe out. Stay where you are and just notice, can you relax something in your face? Can you let your head be a little bit heavier? Can you soften something in the jaw, in the cheeks? And at this moment, after 5 or 6 minutes here, can you really, like a detective, search for parts of your body that maybe feel expansive? There might be perhaps a corner here and there that might feel a little bit of contraction, there's a gentle pain, or perhaps bruising, or anything at all. It doesn't feel quite expansive. That's perfectly fine. Just noticing. As you are gently, gently making awareness or touching the floor intentionally with your hands, and lifting a little bit the torso, walking the hands back, but allowing the forehead to rest for a moment in the bolster and the support that you have. Letting the torso, the head be heavy as we walk hands back towards our legs. Very sleepy here in a way, keeping the hips on the floor, just wiggling the hands so that we can press feet on the mat and just shift our buttocks a couple of times. One of my teachers called this geisha steps towards the other side. Just roll over, check in. Maybe the location of the legs of the hips is different. Maybe the knee on this side needs to go on top rather than behind. Each hand comes to each side and we take our time. Maybe you're already there, wiggling, being very considerate if you have boobies to make sure that your boobies are comfortable. I'm just gonna come back to the same side so that I can be seen. But maybe I'm moving my things around. You're just allowing yourself to be in the shade. And second sides are always best because there's less mystery. There's less wondering what is happening here. There's just this easeful settling. And on the other side, we checked with the temperature, the weather, the touch of the air on your skin. We wanted the practices of restorative, of flow, to be part of the equation, to be present with the experience. Sometimes being in a space where there's not much happening, it brings up stuff, feelings, emotions. Keeping yourself safe and managing what's available just by noticing the breath, whatever comes, if it's a little bit challenging to handle, just saying to yourself, I am breathing in. When you're breathing in, and I am breathing out. When you are breathing out. Staying with the reality, the body sensations, the possibilities, the reality of that is of what is here. Awareness of where you are in space, noticing the legs this time, the hips, the heaviness, and the welcoming of the support at this time, at this stage of the practice. And observe whatever in your body you can feel expansion. And there might be a little corner or a big corner there with a little bit of contraction, which is okay. We want to make, don't want to make anything wrong. We just want to observe. When wherever there's a little bit of contraction, I'm feeling something in my right shoulder. I'm just gonna allow some air, some space, some breath to that area. Deep breath in and a carrying breath out. And then letting it be. We plant our hands on the floor, bring forehead to the bolster, to the support, gently walking your hands back. And then if it's okay, we're just shifting into Shavasana, just support for our legs. I find it very lovely. So just moving pillows around, perhaps moving your knickknacks, and then bringing my legs over the bolster to just lie down on the floor. Nothing, nothing more, just stretching the legs, lying down on your back, stretching to the arms, stretching to the legs. That's it. Just making sure that everything is just right. And as you settle for Shavasana, I'm going to read to you a couple of words, very short couple of words that I found this morning for us in the book of Yung Pueblo, Clarity and Connection. Before we drift away and as we settle into the sweetness of the practice, I'm going to read to you. The world is a giant full of moving vibrations, waves of energy emitted or coming from all beings. When we cultivate our minds, we cleanse our personal vibe. We reclaim our power by not yielding to what flows around us and by allowing what is within us to come forward. Remember, the energy you most often repeat is the energy you will most easily connect with. Your vibration is always shining and affecting your environment. Letting whatever words, whatever possibilities just land and literally get into the earth with whatever it's here and let it all sink in. Not grasping, not holding, just allowing. And we'll be here for a good amount of time, 6 to 7 minutes of just space. Be okay with feeling a little bit lost and not knowing where you are. And don't you worry, I will let you know. I will make sure we will close. And if for some reason you stay sleepy, relaxed, and here, that is also perfectly fine. Deep breath in wherever you are. Collect yourself. Ah, then notice where you are. Notice the temperature around you, the sensation of the air on your skin. Feel and observe your body lying down on the floor. The reality of this moment, this practice where you are. And as we remember that this is a big part of who we are, this lying down on the floor, enjoying this practice, we wiggle our fingers and toes. We maybe wiggle our wrists and ankles, moving our heels. And if it's okay, bring your arms up and over, big stretch, stretch, and a long breath in. A yawn through the body, deep breath out. Take your time. Maybe you stay here. All good. Or if you wish, bend knees, stretch your chest. It might feel nice to rock a little bit side to side if that's okay for your lower back. And then take your time to roll over to one of your sides, as we did at the beginning. Maybe some uh, awareness of how you're feeling now to how was a little bit ago. And you might stay here for longer if you wish, or slowly making your way up into a seated posture, taking your sweet time to settle yourself. And maybe you are seated. Maybe you're still lying down, and we just bringing one hand to the chest, one hand to the heart, and just noticing. Perhaps with a better ability to catch up with the breath, to be aware. We just here offer gratitude for being able to make this space, to have that corner of time today for this, to what is happening in our households, that we have the conditions to meet together at this moment. And perhaps sending vibrations of peace, again, to our households, to our neighborhoods, to the greater world. And with this very sweet, gentle energy of ease, perhaps we can close with palms together, and I bow to you in deep gratitude. Namaste. Mm. Thank you so much for your practice. I hope to see you soon, either alive or online. I hope that this has been a benefit, and thank you so much for being here.